Welcome everyone. I just watched Michelle over at Pocketful of Primary create an interactive drag and drop Google slide for her younger students. I'm going to replicate that, but I'm also going to put a little bit of a GCSC spin on it and show you how to create a slide, a similar slide, and then send it to your students through Google assignments within Canvas. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to create an interactive drag and drop Google slide presentation that can be distributed to students through Canvas. This type of activity allows students to have a manipulative and something to work with when they are working digitally in your classroom. This is only an example. There are many other types of activities you could set up this way. You could do sentences or you could do equations. It's really limitless, but you can see here that in this case, I have a map, and the hallmark of this activity is that the map is actually in the background so that it cannot be moved. The tiles, however, can be moved. So if I want a student to place Utah in the correct location, they simply have to drag Utah. If I want them to place Washington in the correct location, they simply have to drag Washington to the correct location. And last but not least, if they want to drag Indiana, they can do the same thing. So that's what we're going to set up so that only the tiles can be drug, but that the background cannot be moved. I'm going to undo that. How are we going to do that? We need a blank Google Slides presentation. I have a tab where we're going to search for a map of the United States, and I have the GCSC instance of Canvas open so you can learn how to distribute this item through Canvas. So we're going to start, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to search for a map of the United States. Once you have searched for a map of the United States, you want to refine that to an image search. And once you have refined to an image search, you are going to select tools. I would strongly encourage you to select tools and then select usage rights so that we select only those items which are labeled for use in the Creative Commons, because we want to make sure that we are not infringing upon copyright. From there, you can choose blank if you would like, or outline. I like to go with color and then select black and white. Probably going to yield very similar results. Obviously, you want a map in which the states are not already labeled. I like this map right here, so this is the one that I'm going to use. If I click on that, I can then simply right-click on this map and select Copy Image. From there, I'm going to go back over to my blank presentation, and I'm going to first of all give it a name. I'll just call it Demo for Video. And I need to paste that map onto the Google slide. However, I probably don't want this layout. That's just personal preference. I'm going to right click and select Apply Layout. And from there, I am going to select Title Only. And I want to give the instructions right here. So I'm just going to call this Label the States. And I'm going to move this as far to the upper left-hand corner as I can. And then I'm going to paste my map in this area. From there, I probably want to expand the map to give it a little bit more room. And I'm going to left click on one of the blue boxes that appear. And I'm going to move this. I probably want to move it actually over as far to the right as I can, so I have some space over here to create labels. And I can see it's just a little too large, so I'm going to resize that back down. There we go. And now I have a map where I could create the labels that students can place on there. However, the map can still be moved. So what I have to do is I have to go to File, and then I have to select Download, and then you have the option of JPEG or PNG. Either one works. I just slightly prefer PNG, so that's what I'm going to go with. And I need to name this file. You can see I've rehearsed a couple times. This is obviously at least take number 3. I'm going to call this Label the States 3. And it will appear in my downloads bar. Again, assuming that I'm using Chrome, I should have specified that at the beginning. Everything here assumes that I'm using Chrome. And then this is going to seem a little counterintuitive maybe. I'm actually going to delete everything off the slide that I just created. So I'm going to delete the map and the text box, and then I want background. So I now have a blank slide and I want to select background. And from there, I'm going to choose background, and I'm going to select choose image right here, choose image. And from there, if I still have the file open in the downloads bar, I can just drag it up here. And that picture file will be loaded. And now notice it is the background of my slide. It cannot be moved. It's in the background. It's like good old fashioned copy and paste, and you put something on the copy machine. It looked like it was one document because you had taken two and put it together. So now I'm ready to create the tiles that can be moved. And obviously I'm not going to create all 50 tiles, but just creating a couple of them. So if I go to shapes and I select a square, I can draw a square. And then you probably want to do a nice bright fill color and probably enhance your border a little bit. And then if you double click inside of that, you can just type. So sticking with my original examples, I'll do Utah. Now you probably want to make this a fairly small size. And I also like to use Ubuntu and Ubuntu Bold. 8 is a little bit small, but it's going to give me some room for all the tiles that I want to create. Again, if you're creating all 50, you're going to be probably a little creative in how you do that. But once I have the first one created, I can simply Control C and Control V. And I'll do that again one more time, and I can select those. And now I'll put my home state of Indiana.
and I probably want these to be centered so they just look a little bit nicer in the tile. So once I have one created, I can left click on it. I can press Control C on my keyboard, click outside in white space, press Control V. It will paste that. I can drop it down here and I'll do another state. You can see Washington is a little bit too big to fit in that box that I created, so I'm going to enhance it a little bit, make it a little bit larger. So if you're like me, you probably want to make them all even because it's going to be really annoying if they're different sizes. And obviously I could go on creating those tiles for a long time if I wanted. And, states like Delaware and Vermont and Rhode Island, it's going to be really hard, though, some of those states on the eastern seaboard, to make sure that they are going to fit in that state. So again, you'll have to be a little bit creative with that. You might have to draw an arrow or something, but let's just say that we have these three. So if I want to label Utah again, I can. If I want to label Indiana, I can. And if I want to label Washington, I can do that as well. So again, keeping in mind that you may not be able to do all 50 states, just depending on the size that you have. But that is what you can create. And again, not just limited to maps, so much you can do with this. So now that I've created this, how in the world am I going to use Canvas to get this to students? So I am going to navigate to my GCSC Canvas, and from there I'm going to locate the course that I want to place this in and distribute to students. For me, that's going to be my demo course right here. And once I am there, I'm going to navigate to the assignments index. The assignments index is right here. I'm going to go ahead and close the downloads bar because I no longer need that. And I'm going to create a brand new assignment. Once I've created that brand new assignment, I may receive this message. If I do, that's okay. I can just click out of it. I'm just going to call it map example assignment. And any instructions that I need can go here. I can assign a point total if I would like. The primary thing that you need to be aware of is you have to, on the submission type right here, submission type, you have to select external tool. And from there, you have to click find. And once you click find, you will see all of the GCSC Canvas tools, LTI tools that are part of Canvas. And there are two Google options. It is imperative that you choose Google Assignments. Google Assignments is the one that you want to select, not Google Docs Cloud Assignment. It has to be Google Assignments. And from there, you will be asked to sign in and verify your account, which you can see is my account, obviously. So I'm going to click continue. And then you will be taken to this screen where you will create a Google assignment within Canvas. And you will need to attach the file by selecting attach. And from there, you will see all of your recent files. So here's my demo for video right here. I'm going to select that. I'm going to select add. And now it tells me right here, each student will get a copy. So I can rest assured that no student is going to be able to edit my original. They're all going to get their own copy, and they will all be able to work on theirs from within Canvas. Every GCSC issued device has Google Slides installed by default, so you know that students will be able to work on their device, and it will also open within Canvas. You can assign a due date, or sorry, a point total, I'm sorry, and then a due date if you would like, and you can also create a rubric as well. I'm going to skip those items for right now and just select create. It will take just a moment for the assignment to be created. Once the assignment has been created, you will need to hit select. It looks like nothing has happened, but you actually need to hit select. And then you can choose the due date if you would like to sync to Skyward and all of the features that are normally part of an assignment. And then I am going to select save. Now, you cannot get a full view in a Google assignment what it's going to look like for students. You only can see the teacher side. So you can see here that as students begin to submit Google assignments, they will show up here. But you can know that if you've taken your Google slide presentation and run it through Google assignments within Canvas, every student is going to get their own copy. They will be able to edit and submit all from within Canvas in your course. If they would like to open and work in slides, the file is there and they can certainly do that. But every student is going to have the ability to drag and drop the states into the correct location. But again, so much more you can do with this. Equations, sentences, sight words, various things you can do with this. Check out Michelle's video. She goes into a lot more specifics on that. I just wanted to make sure you knew how to integrate this type of activity through Canvas. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, best of luck using this feature with your students.